engaged. Autopilot standing by.
Stand by.
Okay, so this is gonna be, I guess, this took me by surprise. So right away, I see that he's playing Ryzeal, right? So Ryzeal, it's pretty straightforward by now. Well, a lot of you know how the deck functions and their end goal and how they interact, get their boss monster. My hand is I have no hand traps, so I can't prevent any of this. So he just sequencing off. I have tactics, so I feel like I'm going to be able to steal his detonator at some point. And the deck plays really well. Like, it's still a bit new to me, like some of the things I was doing, and you'll see later on where I got kind of mixed up. But for the most part, like, it functions quite well. The Adventure engine, it just meshes so well. I know, and this is what took me by surprise. He was playing Voiceless voice. I was like, what the hell? Like, this is the obscurity that I really enjoy implementing into decks where they don't expect you to do this. Like, it's just like, okay, yeah, you might be kind of aware of it, but majority of the people just aren't, you know. And it's like, oh, this is cool, because this means, like, if they were to interact with a particular, I guess, polarizing thing that everyone's just like, okay, you hit this, and then you're like, okay, that means that my other card that loses to Ash won't lose to Ash anymore, you know. And that's what I like about these obscure decks. Like, it's okay, it seems very basic, right? Because Voiceless voice isn't too complex. It's just getting your Omni, getting your trap, and then maintaining tempo that way. But, like, it's just the initial interaction where you typically would lose, right, to like an Ash or to an Imperm type of thing. Whereas this case, like, you bait so much. I see that he has tactics, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it goes to me. So right now I'm like, well, I'm not sure how I'm gonna be able to do this, which is what made me think, like, maybe you're playing a Zeus, because I play Terratop, so I can maybe go for like a Zeus line. I chain the Griffin here, go right chain link 1, Griffin chain link 2, and he lets it resolve, and I'm okay, that's fine. I place my Fateful. And he's like, okay, fair enough. And then I normal summon the turtle. I attempt to activate and search the equipped, and he pops it with his Ryzeal. So I'm like, oh, it's kind of annoying. So I link off for the Clockwork, and I end up I open up double Fafnir. I'm like, oh, this is kind of bad. So now I'm trying to see how far I can get, because that last card in my hand, I'm trying to, like, force it out. I want to ensure that I can get some value off this tactics, because that's how it was all these the entire day. It wasn't doing so great. Like, it was like, by the time I was able to use the tactics, it was like very underwhelming. Oh yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, how the hell did he get both spells and traps? Isn't low once per turn? Bro. Oh my god, what the hell? Anyways, so ignoring that, I guess. Holy crap. Yeah, it's lowest one per turn. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Anyways, so I'm trying to get to a point where I can get to an SP, get rid of because the continued spell was protecting his rituals from being, or light monster from being targeted. So I want to get to a point where I can force the Guardian with SP, right? And then he ashes me here, activate SP, but he has the Imperm. So I'm like, oh my god, I tried because if the Imperm wasn't there, the tactics would be insane here. Like, yeah. Yeah, and I just scoop it up. I was like, oh, I gotta freak it out, dude. It was crazy. Yeah, that low thing, what the hell?
Engaged. Autopilot standing by.
Okay, so we're going to game 2, and I'm going first this time. And this is crazy, because you'll be able to see how you can play around some of the Charmy cards, because I was like, oh, this is quite impressive. So he shotguns the Charmy, that's the Voiceless. I'm like, okay, so how do I do this? Okay, activate inclusion, search for Sofador, and I'm like, I don't want to give him any cards, but I still want to have a decent setup, which is like the trap and the synchro setup on his turn. So then I end up dumping both those two, and I'm going to add this. This is the way so I don't have to float with the Sofofnir, because I can just normal summon and pop the Smiger instead of popping itself. So I pitch the Trist. Here's like Trust, right? Like Trust, but it's Trist. So this pops the Smiger, and then now I get access to my trap, which is really cool. Banish the Smiger, add the trap, and I use Inclusion to revive my Trist. And then no draws off Charmy, so that's really good. So I set 2, and I pass. And I think I have Inclusion, and I think what's my other set? I think I'm pretty sure it's Droplet, and I have I think a Bestial and Droll in hand. So I'm like, okay, this should be enough. And he goes Battle Phase, and this is where I completely forget, because it's a similar ruling with this and Ray. You know how like if it's technically not your opponent banishing, it's you yourself through game mechanics. Like, okay, so it applies to where they can still get banished because he's not doing it, I'm choosing to do it. So it's like it's a technicality, but like I've completely forgot. So here's our local judge, Ethan. He was ruling this particular situation for us, and yeah, I don't know why. I think I was like new to the deck that I completely forgot some of the old rulings. It's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Looking back at it now, I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense. Like, why the hell would it not be the case? So right here, I'm just gonna go cluster to pop my Sofofnir. And right here, I forget to return a crystron card. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect the game, but I'm supposed to return something. I was debating on whether to keep the droplets or keep the trap, but I feel like in the long run, because I had Droll, I think I can stop him I can stop him enough to the point where I can get enough resources for the following turn. And then he activates that. I chain. I summon out the Softor, synchro into a Alesk, and then Alesk will add back something from the grave or banish. And then on resolution, I drop the Droll. And at this point, I'm like, okay, can he extend past this? Because I'm assuming that he can at least get to a detonator, right? So I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. And he goes detonator, and then he equips, and I'm like, okay, I think I decided whether I want a Bestial, but I think I decided not to. I'm pretty sure I do. And he goes summon slow. And then I'm like, okay, he places the continuous spell. And then he just passes. I'm like, okay, cool. So I live, right? I'm alive. So I think I should have enough. I have everything I need in the graveyard. And then I draw into tactics. I'm like, oh hell yeah, this is looking pretty good. This is looking real good. So then I go effective Trist, target my Alesk. And he's like, okay, it's fine. And then I chain my cluster, right? I just want to get rid of that. Yeah, I want to get rid of the detonator and force it so I can turn on my tactics. Yeah, so he ended up chaining it, and he pops. I was like, well, does he pop? Does he pop by synchro? And he popped the trap. I'm like, okay. I think in hindsight, maybe it would have been better to pop the synchro, because if I don't pop it with Trist, I don't get to summon the 2 Crystrons. I mean, I'll get 1 body float, but yeah, I don't know. But then I guess, yeah, I don't know. But he just ended up scooping because he sees like, okay, we're getting close to time, and he feels like, okay, nah, I'll just try to establish my board in game 3 and hopefully just hold him off. So we start game 3. He goes first. Looking at my hand, I'm like, my hand's okay. I know I have Eclipse. And I think I have combo. So he sets 1, and I look at his hand, and he has like a bunch of traps. And then he just passes, bro. He just bricked. I was like, wow, okay. So here we go. So then I make my play, and then I go for Fateful. And then I'm trying to see what he does. I go for the search. I'm trying to get to Griffin, but he just purchases it, right? So I can't get Griffin because I'm pretty sure I have Enchantress here. And I send Smiger. Smiger will get me my Inclusion, which gets my combo going. But I think in hindsight, because I think I have Enchantress in him, so I think maybe I should have baited with Enchantress first and bait, because he judgments this. He negates this. I'm like, oh, would he have negated the right though? You know, but I'm not sure if he would have. But now I'm like, hey, what do I do? So I go Enchantress, search for right, and I try to progress. And then I go for that, get the equip spell, get Draco back, normal summon Trist, and then I just go battle phase because I can't really do anything, right? But I think I think Coral Dragon might be cool here. I think one of you mentioned it in on stream that you can use Coral, pop Coral, draw card, and then get combo that way. I was like, that's pretty cool. So I set Eclipse and a Bluff, and I pass. So he activates the monster that dumps Ritual for Voiceless Voice, and then adds a Ritual. So I go into Dragster right away because I knew that he bricked. So I was like, okay, I'll just negate the spell grave effect, and he adds Guardian, and then I was like, well, I still have Book of Eclipse, so I feel pretty safe. Like I don't feel like threatened at all, and I have common extras. Oh. And yeah, that is this deck's wild, bro. This is crazy. Good game, Leon. Good game.
He didn't use anything. I was like, fucking hell. Cool, there's nothing to do.